Hey, Thunder fans, welcome inside Off the Tracks. It's our second episode here from the U.S. Cellular Coliseum as we sit down with some of the Thunder players and Coach Williams to my left here. And we'll kind of preview this weekend or this upcoming weekend as the Bloomington Thunder have two games upcoming on Saturday and Sunday. 7 o'clock start on Saturday night against the Dubuque Fighting Saints. 3 o'clock start against the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders on Sunday, Superhero Sunday. Bring the kids on down. It'll be a good event, and you can give us a call to get those tickets set up, 309-434-2980 to get those all set up with us. And we'll kind of talk to Coach Williams here now about the weekend, and also we'll touch on yesterday just briefly here as the Bloomington Thunder coming off a loss against the Youngstown Phantoms. And Coach, I know Youngstown's just been a tough opponent this year against them. They've got a lot of skilled players, like you've said, for most of the season. And it's just been a tough go against the Phantoms this year.
That's to probably be nice about it. You know, it's been a real tough one. You know, they're a club that definitely has their number, and it was a lot of learning again. You know, and we kind of knew we'd have some hiccups with this young group and with us. And I think at the end of the day, it's we've kind of had it against one team all year, right? With 4 of our 6 losses have came against them, and 1 overtime point. So we don't have a lot against them on paper, but we still got them 3 more times. We gotta we got to understand that it is a process. It's going to take time, but for us, it's the quicker we can forget about yesterday and focus on our opponent Saturday, the better off we're going to be.
And the quick turnaround, we'll touch on in a second, because it's obviously a two-day turnaround before you've got a hockey game against the Dubuque Fighting Saints. But the mindset coming out of that game, like you said, you've played Youngstown so many times. So does it kind of get in the player's head a little bit of it is just as much Youngstown, but it is also ourselves. We got to focus on us going forward, but it's going to be nice to kind of get over with Youngstown once that's all said and done with in just a couple weeks.
Yeah, the guys are excited to play any game, no matter if it's them or not. Like, it's you prepare to battle against a team with a different color jersey on, and if it's, I think we got them a couple more times, but again, our focus is just on Dubuque right now. We got a very tough opponent with them, and our focus right now is 110% on Saturday night's game, and our energy has to be on that. If our energy is on anything else, if it's on Sunday's game, if it's on last night, then we're a lost cause right now. So we're 110% focused on Saturday at 7.
So Dubuque on Saturday, you saw them in the preseason. That's light years away, and it was a completely different team than you're going to be facing this Saturday. When you're looking at the Dubuque Fighting Saints and what this team has kind of accomplished over the last couple of years and where the organization's going, what's the expectation for that team coming in to Bloomington and trying to get this team right back on track?
Well, I'm not sure about their expectations. I know about us. It's we got to get back to basic and simple hockey. We got to get back to. I don't think there's enough guys with the buy-in. You can see guys want to start doing their own thing out there, and it doesn't win. And maybe the game's too hard for some. I'm not sure. But it's a game that when you're on the ice, all 5 have to be on the same page for the same thing. They all have to support each other. They have to have the right routes. They have to have the right discipline. The details and structure in place. It's a matter of players doing it, and that's what we said. You can't have 4 of the 5 doing it. You got to have all 5, and that's the minute one guy's on his own page out there in a shift or a period is the minute that another, your opponent takes full advantage of you. And, it is one of those things right now that, we're focusing. We switched up a few things here today. We want to take a different look. I'm going to try to refocus our penalty kill a little bit in our neutral zone and tweak it a little bit. But, the guys, it's the same story. The guys are working hard, but, working hard only gets you so far. You got to start making plays. You got to be held accountable. And, right now, I think that's the biggest thing we're going to do is start holding more and more players accountable. And, if they're playing hard and playing smart and buying in, they're going to play. If they're not doing that, they're not going to play.
And the fire was there. We saw it early in the season. It just seemed like everybody was moving on all cylinders. Everyone's moving off the puck. Is it, you mentioned it just getting back to basics. It comes down to that forechecking presence that we saw early in the year that really kind of helped cause turnovers in the offensive zone. I don't really think, just from my vantage in the press box, just haven't seen that as much from the team as of late.
Yeah, I would agree and disagree with it. The always question is what is our forecheck? Our forecheck changes 2 or 3 times a game, so it's hard for someone to sit there and critique it. We watch more of the just the execution of everybody, right? Like you have a forecheck in play to turn the puck over. So it doesn't matter where you turn the puck over. It doesn't matter if it's below the goal line. Some games you saw us when we go two guys hard, you turn the puck over below the goal line. There's other times when you sit back and you got to turn over top of the circles or turn over at the blue line or turn over at the red line. It's all about, your forecheck, your neutral zone is all about good structure, but then it's about the transition. It's about the attack after. Once you gain that puck, what are you doing with it? Your instinct has to be, you got to go to the net. You got to make plays. We don't have time to sit back and regroup. We got to try to catch a team off guard and get going again. So it's a learning process for a lot of these guys here, and they have to start to adjust. It's not wherever they came from. I get the expectations here is excelling. And we got to, our job is to win hockey games. Our job is to produce hockey players to move on to the next level and win hockey games. And we need players that continue to work hard like they are right now, but then also think the game just as importantly. And I think sometimes what happens is you get in games like this past Wednesday and playing against good opponents is you see the guys that have the composure out there to make plays under pressure, to escape pressure and all that. And it's good for us to kind of learn our players still right now. But, we're getting Andrew Roy off the IR, this coming weekend, which is good, and hopefully give us a little boost in the back end.
So then also the one thing that we've kind of seen throughout the year, this team shoots the puck a lot throughout the games. And I know earlier in the year we talked about just being opportunistic in front, and that comes down to like what you were just saying about crashing the net. And how does it kind of work with, shooting the puck and then just searching for the rebounds? Is it, working with shooting for the offside pad, or is it just different systems and different players doing certain things on the offensive side that's kind of added up the shot totals that's just not equaling in the goal column?
I'm not concerned about the goals right now. We're getting the opportunities. We probably should have a few more there on Wednesday for sure. We didn't, but it all has to go with capitalizing again. You see when you're playing a team that's confident right now. And it's funny that word confident because, 5 games ago, Bloomington was great, right? Everyone, smokes, look how great they are. And look at this, 4-2-1, everything, right? Yep. And you go on a bit of a hardship time, and I say, like, where did things turn? What made it turn? And it's obviously in the sports world, that's $1 million question, right? Otherwise, everybody would be perfect.
I'd be a head coach if that was the case.
Exactly. If you knew what it was, we'd all. So it's important for us as coaches to try to figure that out. Where the disconnect maybe went, right, or what has happened, or is it when we were there, were guys comfortable? Do we got to get them back to being uncomfortable? Back to when they're in a tryout stage mode where they're fighting for premising the lineup and spots and power play and penalty kill. And, that's what we're going to look to bring a few kids up here and hopefully boost that competition again in practice, because as soon as, comfort sits in, within your locker room, you normally you're not too successful. Some of the better teams that I've been fortunate to play with and play on and coach is the ones that have a great sense of battle between each other, and it's not in a way of hurting another teammate, but it's a way to make them better and holding them accountable with a sense of ownership. And that's what we need to continue to get out of our guys. Like, they got to know when we go for practice, the only way we're going to get better is to play the game right in practice. So it pushes our D to make better plays, pushes our forward to make better plays. And if we let our guys get away with it, and that's why you've seen this last week is everything's being blown down. Every time there's a missed route, every time there's a wrong stick, we got to get back to basic teaching and blow it dead. And, like we said, the guys, you don't like to hear the whistle blow that much. Let's just do it right. And you don't have to worry about us breaking it all down. We're
talking with head coach Dennis Williams here on Off the Track, second episode here from the U.S. Cellular Coliseum. Also, something on the side, too, before we kind of step away from the hockey side a little bit. The guys are taking part in Movember. Definitely head to Movember.com, or you can head to it by going to the Bloomington Thunder site and finding our link on the page there, and you can donate to the team. Individual players will crown a 2014-15 Movember man. It's doing pretty well so far on the website. We'd love to have some more support. Mm-hmm. I'm taking part, and I'm still not even nearly as close as you are to November.
I don't count. I don't think, because I started this about 5 days before November probably. So that's how quick it grows.
All right. So the two on the just the whole aspects of getting that competitive environment back into this locker room and working with guys. You mentioned it, the training camp aspect. You got to make this team. You got to earn your spot. can you kind of create that inside of practice? And I know I've seen a couple practices where it's, okay, you're not doing your job, you're coming off the ice, somebody else is coming right on to take your spot. Is that something that's been implemented here over the last couple of practices just to kind of get everything going and trying to see that competition pop back up?
I think what you see is a lot of players being healthy scratched for the first time in their life, and it's as I say to our guys, it's a privilege to play, not only for Bloomington, but the United States Hockey League. It's a privilege. It's not, no one is, it's no different than us as coaches. It's a privilege to coach here, under Mr. Yule and Mr. Jelena and have this opportunity. It's not a right, it's not just given to you, and we got to continue as coaches to do a better job, and same with the players. And if once again, that if guys are just happy-go-lucky that they're here in the USHL, and playing for Bloomington, they probably find themselves out, because you gotta fight every day. You got to keep competing. You got to get better every day. And for the guys that have, verbal scholarships and whatnot, they got to continue to get better, because when they make that next step, you just don't want to be a healthy scratch and just a normal freshman. Go take someone's spot, I always tell them. Right. Let's get the most out of the year. You're playing junior hockey. You're playing the best league in North America as far as I'm concerned. And you waste away days. A lot of these players, I say they don't have jobs. Maybe they go to school, some of them, and that. But you get to just focus on hockey. So as we tell our guys, we don't let them sleep away. Obviously, but don't waste away a day of getting better. At the end of the day, look at yourself in the mirror, because someone's been supporting you all along the way. So I told them. So the easiest way to give thanks back to them and say thanks is giving 110% for them here, and not be phony about it. As I say, a lot of times it's parents or grandparents that have helped these players through, or old coaches. Maybe you've had bad days. Call them. Don't as I say, it's a lot of guys will always have a cop out, and just say something like, coach was on me today, or don't say, if you didn't have a good practice, tell them I didn't have a good practice. I don't know why, but I'm going to figure it out. And I know that's always the hardest part. But I used to call my dad when I was even in college, and one of the things I'd always say is, he'd ask me, if I wasn't playing Friday night, he'd say, hey, how's your practice this week? Dad, I had a great practice, or what, I wasn't very good this week. I don't know what's going on. I got to figure it. But there was no excuses. And the minute you let excuses into your life and wanting people to feel sorry for you is probably not a good sign. You got to take responsibility, take the onus, and run with it. And like I said, these guys they're young, they're new, to everything here. But if you have Jack on today and Alec being a new younger player for us, but it is accountable, and no one on our team is bigger than the group, so as I said all along, if Jack Jenkins isn't playing well, he's not going to play, and he knows, I say it. Alec, Mehr knows it was on, and it's nothing just using those guys because I know they're on, but it's got to be equal all the way throughout, because we got to build a culture in that locker room of compete, doing things the right way, representing the program the right way. And, it's important that we start this foundation in our first year.
Now, the other half of it that guys always are looking for, and you mentioned it, trying to get to that Division I college level, and some of those guys that you mentioned that do already have those verbal commitments, it's a future investment for those colleges. So how in touch do they stay with you on their day-to-days and try and get the read on some of these guys and how they're playing?
Yeah, you definitely get it. If I'm on there, you run into them after games and talking to them, but the as I always say to the guys, the biggest thing is let's obviously we focus on the now. Next year will happen next year. So as I tell them, there's one voice on the team. It's the coaching staff, right? And this is how we're going to play. But our goal is to not lead them down a dead end road. It's about making you a better player. Yeah. And we do things. And as I say to guys, the players that and the way we coach or the way we teach is not the right way. It's all depends upon your team and your makeup and your systems. We got Dubuque coming in with Coach Shaw there, and then Coach Carlson, who just got his 500th victory, this year. He coaches a certain way and recruits kids a certain way to fill how he wants to play, and Dubuque does the same, and we're finding out who we are, but we have a method of how we want to play. But now we continue to groom these guys into it. But as we move forward into next year and the following year, we'll start recruiting players of how we want to play the game.
So we'll touch on the two new guys, or the two guys who will be on the show today, Jack Jenkins and Alec Mehr. And I know we said it last week, and I always love to hear your perspective on some of these guys, because there's not a ton that the fans do know about some of these guys and how they play and what they're like off the ice in the locker room. So just tell us a little bit about these two guys coming on here tonight.
Right. Who do you got on first?
Jenkins. I got Jack.
His real name's John. Did you know that?
No, I didn't actually. Learn something new every day down here.
Jonathan Jack Jenkins. We made a trade for him this summer, and it was a trade we were trying to get done and do, and really excited to have him. Obviously, for us, we call him a local boy. He's not too far from here, and his experience in the league is crucial, and his compete level and work ethic is part of the reason why, and the main reason why I went after him. And the reviews on Jack were very good off the ice and a dedicated hockey player. And, I was in here, I guess it was Saturday, Jack, after the Green Bay game. And my daughter Emerson had youth hockey, right? I guess it's mini mites. And Jack was in there with, was it Slakes?
Yeah.
The two of them, like, here they are after we lost 4-1 to Green Bay. We had the weekend off, and there was an hour of ice open. Only two guys I saw in there getting dressed. And, so that says a lot about them, about both Jackie and you had Slakes on last weekend, right? So, to walk in there, they had no clue I was going to be there. And, I was bringing my little one to get her dressed, and there they were. And I asked them, what are you guys up to? They're in there, getting a bike ride, a little workout in, going on the ice. So, I think that sums up the type of person, Jack is. And obviously we're very grateful to have him. And then you got Alec Mehr on right after, I believe. And, Alec came to us in a trade again this past summer. Funny thing about Alec is he was property of the Everett Silvertips in the Western Hockey League, another program that our ownership owns. And Alec is getting into his groove a little bit. It took him a little bit. I think there was a growing up stage, and there's still a growing up stage for him. But I think at that age, a lot of players wanted to happen right then. And again, it's a process. And I think the sooner we can have players understand that, again, we're here to get you to be a better hockey player. And we're like, again, we don't want your hockey career to end, and I think a few talks I had with Mehr, he really helped him, through it. But you can see him out there. He works hard. He's on pucks. He's physical. He tracks pucks. He scored a nice goal this weekend by just taking to the net there. I don't know. I think it was maybe a power play goal. We rolled out of the corner, but those are more things we need to do as a team. We need to roll out of the corner. We need to get to the net, and to see Alec, do that, and his hard work the last couple of games is, he was out of the lineup there maybe 5-6 games ago. He's been in 5 or 6 in a row, but he's done it himself. He's working hard. It's starting to click in that, hey, you know what? If I compete hard and follow the systems of work and finish my checks, then I get a chance to be in the lineup every night, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Brian Tosti and head coach Dennis Williams. Well, I know you got 2 games coming up this weekend, so I know you got a lot of prep to do, and we'll get these two guys on the air and get you out of here. Best of luck this weekend.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, that's head coach Dennis Williams. We'll be right back right after this, and we'll have Jack Jenkins on the mic. Get ready right here on Bloomington Thunder's Off the Tracks on bloomingtonthunder.tv. Hey everybody, welcome back to Off the Tracks right here from the U.S. Cellular Coliseum. I'm Brian Tosti, second guest here, Jack Jenkins. Got a couple games coming up this weekend. We'll get to you in just a second, Jack. We got 2 games coming up this weekend. This Saturday, 7 o'clock. It's the Poster Series 2 giveaway, 500 available. So be one of the first ones in the building to secure one of those. You don't want to miss out. We got 7 this season. And as like I mentioned, number 2 already this Saturday. And on Sunday, 3 o'clock game against the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders. It's Superhero Sunday. Doors open at 2 o'clock, but the Superheroes will be out here to start that game. Definitely come on down, bring the kids. We can get you tickets to those. Give us a call, 309-434-2980. And let's get to Jack Jenkins, who is our second guest here on Off the Tracks. And Jack, it's a pleasure to be here with you, and I thank you for taking the time here.
Yeah, it's nice to be here, and looking forward to answering some of your questions.
Well, let's kind of talk about your career and where you're from, and about as hometown kid as we can get here in Bloomington. You're from up just north of Chicago, from Lake Bluff, and just talking about the early stages of your life and beginning to kind of dive into the hockey world, and where the kind of experience built up for you to become a hockey player.
Well, Lake Bluff is about 45 minutes north of Chicago there, so in northern suburbs. But my dad played hockey in high school and stuff like that, so he had a little bit of background there. And I remember I was about 3 or whatever, and he took me on the pond outside and right across the street from our house, and kind of started learning to skate there. And then went out to the big rink, and then started doing like little clinics and stuff like that. And then youth organization about 20 minutes from my house, Highland Park Falcons. I played there for about like 5 years or so. And then it was a great organization there. We were always one of the top AA teams in the country there, and played with some good players who currently play in the USHL, some of them. So it was good to play with them. And then I moved on to AAA my Pee Wee minor year, Chicago Young Americans there in Lincolnwood, Illinois. And then I played there from Pee Wee minor to midget major, so probably around 7 or 6 years there. And I met a lot of friends there and good coaches there, and that's really how I started to develop as a hockey player.
One thing that people also don't recognize about hockey too sometimes is it's not like some of the usual sports. You kind of have to play these odd travel and junior programs before you're really in high school and everything. When were you searching out those organizations and getting ready? I know you mentioned Chicago Young Americans, but then you start to kind of see, okay, maybe I can do this and go into the USHL and start to make this maybe a way to get into college and everything. When was that kind of area that you figured that out?
Very early. My dad would always take me to the Steel games, and we'd watch. And I'd always wanted to play in that league because that's the best league to get to college hockey and then ultimately pro hockey. And that was always the goal since I was really young. And I knew, like, even from an early age, that if you want to move on in this game, the best opportunity to do that is probably to play through the USHL. So when I finally got drafted and got the opportunity to play, it was a big accomplishment. And my family is very proud of me. And 3 years later, here I am. So
tell me about just growing up with the family. And do you have any brothers or sisters or anything, or is just you? Or tell me about the home life a little bit.
It's just me, just only child. So it's just my mom and dad. But I've gotten very close with them because other families here, they have like a brother or sister or multiple siblings, but it's just me. So I spend a lot of quality time with my parents, and we're all really close. And so it's kind of nice.
And joining the league too, it's always tough to be away from the family. And you were originally drafted by Des Moines, and you head over there and play for them for a couple seasons. What was the travel like, just getting to see your parents every once in a while, and being that distance away? At first it was tough. I remember when my parents dropped me off for the first time, Mom didn't take it so well, especially moving to a new school and all that stuff like that. But when I was there, they would only be able to come to games when it was when we had back-to-back home games on a Friday and Saturday. So they couldn't come out nearly as much as they do now. Like now, if there's only just one game, they'll still come up and see me play because it's only a couple hours away. But so in Des Moines, like 5.5 hours. It was a little bit tougher to get to more games there. So it's nicer here. It's like getting the early taste of college life and then getting the drop off there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got the early taste. because I was a senior in high school, and most of the people still have another year before they do that. So, yeah, then the next year when everyone went off to college, like my parents are kind of like, yeah, we've already been through that and stuff like that. So
for you too, everyone kind of, when you're going through the USHL, you get your billet families, and you've got one here,
Yeah.
but some people stay connected with their billet families for quite some time. How was your connection with your billet family? Still stay in touch with them a little bit?
yeah, I still stay in touch with them. I had 2 in Des Moines, and I still stay in touch with both of them a little bit. Especially my one last year. Then I stay with the roommate, Michael Marnell. He's at St. Lawrence right now, and we're really close friends. And because he's an only child too, and that's the only time we've had like kind of like a brother situation. So we're still pretty close. And obviously, I keep in touch with my billet family back in Des Moines. They keep in touch on me, say like good job after a win, stuff like that, and they're always looking forward to that in February when we play Des Moines. So then I'll get to see them after like that. So it's nice.
So the other half of it too, you're part of the USHL organization, and it comes down to also managing your school time with your hockey time.
Yeah.
And in 2012, you were the Des Moines academic award winner there. So I mean, what's it like to try and balance those two and be an athlete, be a student at the same time, where it's a little bit more serious than it is to be a high school athlete?
Yeah, I just want to start off saying I beat out Ryan Galt for the Academic Achievement Award, and he's still a little bitter about that. But yeah, I mean, I remember they're long days. It almost felt like it's 2 days in one. Like when I'd be after practice, I'd be like, wow, it feels like yesterday I was at school. But yeah, I remember I'd wake up at 6:30 a.m. for school. Got that early bird class so I could get all my classes out of the way before practice, and it was a really grind. It was a grind at times, especially when we had games on Friday, still having to go to school. You're not able to just focus on hockey, maybe not be able to get as much extra ice as you want to because you have to do the homework and stuff like that. But, I mean, everyone's got to go through it. But I'm pretty happy that I don't have to do that right now and just focus on hockey. So,
and for you were let's talk about the trade and coming over to Bloomington. As Coach mentioned, obviously a highly sought after trade that he wanted to have here, and he kind of played that as well when he named you and Matt Mendelson and Vince Pedri the assistant captains for this team. And just talk about that honor and being able to kind of bring your wisdom and bring your couple of years of experience in the league into this locker room and the new franchise.
Yeah, it's always an honor to be named captain of any team. It's the first time I've been named like that since CYA days, so it's been a while. But when you come into that role, especially like the first time in a while, you kind of like look at the guys that I had in Des Moines and try to see who the good leaders were and try to kind of replicate that. And I'm not really a big rah-rah kind of guy, so I just try to lead by example on the ice as much as I can. Try to be the first one here, the last one to leave. So just trying to do that to help lead the younger guys and the rest of the guys to a successful season.
And just bringing that wisdom to younger guys. I mean, you've kind of been through it all. You were drafted, you were traded, you've been through different organizations. Have some of the guys sought you and just kind of, because there are guys who, have been that guy on the teams, and they maybe were part of a tender trade or anything. So what if guys really come up to you and said, hey, give me some wisdom on this topic through this team and through this league?
Yeah, I mean, I was in Des Moines for 2 years, and there weren't that many trades there, so I didn't really talk about it with anyone. But I remember when I got traded to Bloomington, it was nice because I got a call from a couple of the guys like Gernhofer and Pedri and Mendelson, kind of in Holiday, like welcome me into the team and stuff like that. And that was really nice. It really unexpected. Made me kind of feel at home already early on, and knew that it was a good group of guys, and which was really important. And then since Soroki and Galt and Gottlieb came when they got traded, like you just try to do the same thing that those guys did to me, kind of welcoming them into the program. And just an easier fit for everyone when you have that welcoming and hospitality.
So now you move into this team, and it's obviously it's a bit of a rough patch right now for the team going forward. But early in the first year of an organization, it always helps to be somewhere around 500. And while you still got a little ways to go to turn it around right now, what's the look forward here to this weekend to try and get everything going in the right direction and just focusing on the little things like Coach Williams was talking about?
Well, 4 points, that's the only goal in mind. anything else besides that is just kind of unacceptable right now. And we have the potential to do that for sure. But it's just basically getting back to the basics, trying to buy into coach's system, just doing all the little things right. And with our team especially, we have to outwork the opponents. And if we do that, then we have a good chance every night, because a lot of teams in this league try to rely on their skill. But hard work beats skill every night. So if we can outwork the other teams, we'll be just fine.
So we're talking with Jack Jenkins here, Brian Tossi and Jack here, talking about Jack's role here in the team and everything going forward now here on Off the Tracks. You're looking at a possibility of going to college as well, as almost every guy in the locker room is here.
Yeah.
That's the reason you joined the United States Hockey League. For you haven't made that commitment yet, but it's still a little ways to go. And obviously no revealing here, but have there been talks with some colleges and some ideas of where you'd like to spend your time?
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely been talking to some schools, but I've always been a guy where I don't want to rush into anything. Some people like to try to rush out of juniors and try to commit as possible and get out as possible. But, I kind of look at that as a mistake, because this is a time where, especially when you're out of high school, you get to work on hockey all day and live and sleep and breathe hockey. So if you really want to get better, this is the opportunity to do it. So I've never been really in a rush to commit anywhere, but it is my third year in the league, so I'm kind of looking to do it sometime shortly. But so we'll see what happens here.
And just finally, before we wrap up here with Jack, one of the guys in the locker room who's taking part in Movember, in the Movember cause, so definitely head on to Jack's page by going to us.movember.co and look for the Bloomington Thunder. Donate to Jack. He's looking to get that Movember trophy. It should be a fun one as we go through. How's it coming in so far?
It's been going good. There's been a couple of times this year where I've had it going a little bit. So we'll see what happens after the month's done, and hopefully it can top last year. Got to get some Just for Men in there to darken it up a little bit. But it should be good.
We heard from the locker room that's cheating, but I don't know. I'm willing to say
it's not cheating at all.
Nothing's cheating here.
Nothing's cheating. Everything's fair game. It's just whatever looks the best come November 30th.
Especially in that age group too, where you're
exactly.
at your 16 through 21 with Pedri. So
all the help you can get. Yeah,
should be fun. Donate to Jack. You can also head to the U.S. Cellular Coliseum this Saturday and Sunday. Donate. We'll have tables available there for the Movember cause. Everything goes to benefit men's health. Jack, I appreciate the time.
Thank you very much.
Do it real soon. That's Jack Jenkins, forward for your Bloomington Thunder. We'll be right back after this. Alec Mehr is going to be on the dial, so don't go anywhere. Right here on BloomingtonThunder.tv. It's Off the Tracks live edition.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
No problem, man. All right, we're here with forward Alec Mehr here on Off the Tracks as we get ready for this weekend's couple games, Saturday at the U.S. Cellular Coliseum and Sunday both at the U.S. Cellular Coliseum. We'll have a couple games. Dubuque Fighting Saints on Saturday as Bloomington looks to get back in the win column. It is poster series number 2 of 7 giveaway, 500 available, so definitely come on out and pick up one of those. And on Sunday, it's Superhero Sunday starting at 3 o'clock. Doors open at 2 o'clock. Bring the kids on down and take part in some of the activities going on outside and inside the Coliseum. It'll be a little cold for outside. We'll have to try and get people inside pretty quick as we got a couple superheroes, Captain America there, Supergirl, as well as Spider-Man and a couple others as well. And we'll get to here with Alec Mehr, one of the new player to the Bloomington Thunder. Hey, everybody's new here.
Yeah.
Newest player to the U.S. HL this season, and you played a couple games last season, but now you get the full taste, and you played 11 games now here, or teams through 11 games now. What's been your kind of takeaway from the USHL and really diving in now this year with the Bloomington Thunder?
I think it was a tough transition. I mean, obviously this is the best league in the United States for juniors, so it was obviously tough to get right in there and help the team. So I mean, I think I've learned a lot. Every game you really have to learn to get better, and especially in this league, it's tough to win every night. So I mean, I basically try and focus on everything I can do to help the team win. And I mean, I've definitely felt like it's been getting better every game. And that's what I'm looking forward to every night.
So you, as a young player, you're from out in California.
Yeah.
And it's a long way away from California to be here in Bloomington,
Yes,
Illinois. But just growing up, talk about getting into playing hockey and where the decisions were and just kind of what the childhood was like for Alec Mehr going through and playing hockey.
Well, actually, I grew up in Massachusetts. That's where I was born.
And again, you learn something new every day.
Yeah. So I actually started playing hockey when I was around probably 4 or 5 in Massachusetts. There, basically that's one of the top sports you can do. And I mean, I fell in love right away. I grew up playing youth hockey there, where I basically went up the ranks there, started mites, squirts, and then started going AAA and travel teams. And finally, we decided my dad got a job in California, so we all moved out there. And we basically that was 5 years ago. Yeah. So we've been there for 5 years, and I played on the LA Selects for most of my time there, and I played on the Kings my last year in California. That was a great experience. I mean, I loved playing California.
Yeah.
Tough travel though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of travel. And then last year I made a decision to go prep school in California, Connecticut. Yeah. And that was a great experience too. I mean, it was a whole different setting. Living in a boarding school it was fun. I mean, it was a lot of fun. Meet a lot of people, and I mean, the hockey was great. It was a big step up from what I've done before. Definitely helped me get here too.
So you've seen both coasts, and I guess for most people, they're like, okay, West Coast, East Coast. You see now the Midwest as well.
Yeah.
Where is your favorite spot right now?
I'd say California is pretty easily up top. I mean, I don't mind Massachusetts. I liked it a lot there, and the East Coast is nice. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, you pretty much find home anywhere you go. I mean, you really get attached, and I mean, I guess California is pretty easy not to have a favorite.
It's hard to not like.
Yeah, I mean, I live right by the beach, so I mean, I'd go there every day during the summer. I mean, it was perfect. I mean, it's just great.
Summer, spring, winter, fall. There's never a bad time for the beach in California.
It's never cold there.
So then you talked about moving to Connecticut and playing junior hockey, playing prep school hockey at the Gunnery Prep, and that's a storied organization. And being able to go there, what was it like to play there and kind of build your craft as you're going through?
I mean, it was great. It was actually a tough league. We played a lot of good teams, and I definitely found the right school because we did great. We made it all the way to the finals, and we lost in overtime to Sullivan. It was a tough loss, but it was a great group of guys. I mean, it was a lot of fun. We had a great year, and I mean, it was definitely something special.
So also playing for a new team, you're always moving around and playing for new teams. And I always love to find the connections. We said it just right before we hopped on the mic that you played with not one of your teammates, but someone related to one of your teammates. as you were growing up.
I played with David Jacobson's brother. He's a good kid. I played with him for a couple of years out in LA, and so I know Jacobson pretty well and his family. So we're pretty close, whole family.
Well, it was good to kind of see him then come over and join
Yeah.
this organization. And let's kind of talk about just early in the United States Hockey League, getting the shot last year with Tri-City, and you get to play in a couple games. What was the whirlwind like just to get into those games? And now it's kind of like, okay, we're here. We're at the top tier in USA Junior Hockey.
I mean, it's very exciting. I mean, this is what most kids dream to play for when they're young. I mean, this is right below college. This is as high as you can get. So it was definitely something special getting to play in front of thousands of fans. I mean, it's definitely something new for every kid. And I mean, it was just great to play. It's just fun.
Now let's kind of touch on the trade, and obviously the gunnery all year, and then you got to make the move to go play in Tri-City. Was it tough to make that travel? Obviously travel is not necessarily an issue.
No.
You're around, but to go in and work with a new group of guys for just a couple games, was it tough, or were the guys really
I mean, the guys were great there. I mean, they really welcomed me. I mean, it was really fun. The coaches were great. It worked out really well. Got to play a lot, and I thought it was just a great experience overall.
So we're talking with Alec Mehr here on Off the Tracks. And Alec, let's kind of talk about the move here. You made the trade, and you were part of the trade with Pat Curry, who came over to the Bloomington Thunder preseason. And what was the concept going through your mind of, hey, I got traded and this team wants me to help start their new franchise? Was it a nice experience for you?
Yeah, I mean, I was very excited to get the call that I was going to come here and that they wanted me. So I felt like that would be a great opportunity to really show what I can do to help the team. And I mean, basically, I know every franchise wants to start off with a win, winning a championship. And I thought exactly that we could come in and possibly do that. So, I mean, it was very exciting to get that call, and always starting off with a new team is great. You really get to fresh start. Everything is new, exciting.
So every time that you score a goal with a different team, with a different league, when you get that first goal, it's kind of different each time. This year, you get your first goal with this organization. Just kind of tell me about the play and what was going through your head as you're coming in, because I think it was the Green Bay game you picked up your first goal.
Yeah, I mean, it was early in the game. I got a great pass from Schauman, and I was basically all alone and just decided to take the shot. And it just went in, and just felt it was definitely special.
And you're on kind of a partial breakaway, if I remember correctly,
it
too. It's you know, there's not necessarily the pressure, but all of a sudden you're starting to come down to the goalie, and you're like, okay, I'm one-on-one here.
I mean, I looked over, no one was open, so I just decided take a shot and went in.
Well, obviously,
after that.
Well, obviously, congratulations on the goal, but. Now we're kind of moving into the stage, and we mentioned it with Coach Williams, Jack. It's been a rough patch for the team right now. Just kind of talk about what the team has really been like in the locker room over these last couple of games, and trying to get the momentum back going and move into the win column.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were having a lot of fun before when we were winning, and I mean, I feel like now we're just kind of we're just trying to figure things out. It looks like we're not playing the systems right. We're not really following what we're supposed to do. So it kind of, I mean, in the locker room's kind of been like, we just need to figure things out. I mean, it's tough when it's in these kind of situations where you're starting to lose games. And I mean, we're just, every day we're trying to battle back and get back on that winning streak. And I mean, this weekend's really big for us. I mean, every day right now we're just focusing on what we can do for next game instead of what's been happening.
So for Dubuque, we mentioned it. Dubuque, you saw in the preseason. It was a tough hockey game. I remember they were a very good hockey team playing against you, and obviously everyone in this league is. But what do you kind of take away from that game? And really, it's a new team that Dubuque has coming in. But what's the expectation for this team now? Do you focus on Dubuque, or is it more of focusing on yourselves and looking around the locker room and say, hey, we need to?
No, this is strictly, I think. I mean, this is basically we know what we need to do. We're basically if we play our game, we should be able to beat anyone. And that's how we think about it. We're just trying to get back to what we do best. And if we follow our systems and we all work hard and buy in, we don't really need to focus on who we're playing. We should be able to play every night, any team, and bring it. So, it's Dubuque. They're a good team, but I think if we just play how we should win. That's how we see it.
Now, being a 97 on a team, too, you're kind of thinking, all right, I've got a couple years in the United States Hockey League. And Jack is obviously one of the components of that where you don't want to make a decision too early, but the idea always creeps up in your head that the point of this league is to play a Division I college hockey. So what's the thought process been for you?
Yeah, definitely. I've come here. I want to do my best and hopefully get a good go to college I really like and find a place to play. And that's basically just do my best here, and hopefully that comes sooner than later.
We're finishing up here with Alec Mehr on Off the Tracks, and we'll pick up next week on next Monday. We'll change that time up into 6 o'clock as we'll get the next show on the road there for Off the Tracks. But Alec, let's just kind of talk about what you're looking for too in a college and what it's like to. You've seen both sides of the coast. You've seen Midwest. What's the ideal place to live when you're going to look at a college for you?
I've really been open to basically all colleges. I've really for me, it's basically just finding the bond, the perfect match, I guess you could say. The coaches, the location, the school, academics. Everything's just, I think once I find a place I like, I'll take it. Just finding what I want is really
just gotta keep the radar open.
Yeah, just gotta really hopefully just get the spot I really like.
Spoken like a true guy looking for a college.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
That's how it usually is.
So then, too, the other thing that Jack was mentioning in his talk was how it's tough to juggle the schoolwork and juggling this hockey life. How's it been for you so far here?
We actually started at the public high school here, and I guess we all did online to get a. It would just be perfect to get ahead with hockey, be able to skate more and focus more on that. But online's been definitely tough. It's hard. You have to really motivate yourself, getting everything done and just finding time each day to set up getting a schedule for each class too is important so you don't really fall behind.
Well, best of luck here. We've got a couple tough ones this weekend. I appreciate the time, and we'll hope to see you in a college sweater here in a couple of years.
Thank you.
All right, that's Alec Mehr. We're finished here on Off the Tracks, all the time we had here. Stick around. This weekend, we got a couple games coming up. Saturday at 7 o'clock. It's the second of the 7-part poster series. Only 500 available at the game, so give us a call, 309-434-2980 to grab your tickets today. Sunday, we've got another contest here against the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders at the U.S. Cellular Coliseum. Puck drop at 3 o'clock, and with the doors opening at 2 o'clock with superheroes in attendance for Superhero Sunday, brought to you by the Event Central Group. Kids also eat free, provided they're 12 and under, and through the first period, they eat free concessions at the game, so definitely bring them out and spend your Sunday with the Bloomington Thunder. For Alec Mehr, for Jack Jenkins, for head coach Dennis Williams, I'm Brian Tosti saying so long. We'll see you next Monday at 6 o'clock for the next episode of Off the Tracks. So long, everybody. We'll keep the Thunder rolling.